Hi folks, and welcome to another Third World Garage review video. Today we're going to be talking about the IKEA Eneby 20. Now the 20 stands for it being a square of 20 centimeters. Now for comparison, here is the Eneby Portable, which I say you probably shouldn't buy. It's not particularly good, and I don't know, for $25, yeah, it's a Bluetooth speaker, but it doesn't sound that great. Now in comparison, this one sounds really good, and this is $50. Both of them don't come with a battery. This does come with a power cord, which you can plug into the wall, and you don't have to use a battery. Unfortunately, in my laundry room here, which is connected to my kitchen, which don't ask me why I'm using this as my filming space right now, but it's probably the best looking space I have for YouTube filming. I don't have an outlet on this wall. The only outlet's over on the other opposite wall, and there's no way to really run power to it. So for $20 extra, I did buy the battery pack, which just goes in the bottom with a little quarter turn fastener. I didn't plan for this, but basically just turn it, pop it, turn it like that all the way, pop it out, and out might come the battery. I have to pull the pull tab, I guess, and there it is. Not a particularly large battery, 2600 milliamp hours, which means it's probably running 3 18650 cells in parallel rather than in series, because they're each about 2600 milliamp hours. Now if you run something in parallel, of course, you increase the amount of actually probably running them in series, not parallel, I'm sorry, because in series you increase the voltage, but you don't increase the amount of power or the amount of time capacity it has. If you run them in parallel, you don't increase the voltage, but you increase the amount of milliamp hours you're going to have. So that's probably what they're doing there. Anyway, it just goes back in. Battery life is not tremendous yet, but not too bad. Now it is available only in a mono configuration, and we're going to talk about that, because some of you who follow IKEA know that they partnered with Sonos and came up with the Symfonisk speaker setup, and that can be daisy chained and into a stereo setup. I think they put Eneby out as kind of a lower cost option, and they didn't want to have Eneby cannibalize the sales of the Sonos branded speakers, so they kept with it being a mono only. Now, being the 20, it only has 2 drivers, a woofer and a 1-inch tweeter. This is, I think, just under 3 inches across, but it actually sounds really good. It has decent bass response, but below certain frequencies it's equalized so that it doesn't go into distortion. So that means that if you're listening to something that you normally would know that has a lot of bass in it, you're going to notice that below a certain set of frequencies it's missing. That would probably be, I think it's right around 80 hertz or 100 hertz and lower, which this driver cannot reproduce anyway, and it would just sound worse. It happens in certain songs, and it's not always noticeable. And for what I'm using it for, which is what I would suggest people do, basically just as something to have in a kitchen or a bedroom where you're not doing a lot of listening that has to be, really high fidelity, it's perfectly fine. But if you're into a better, more audiophile setup, of course you're not buying a $50 cheap Bluetooth speaker out of IKEA. You're buying something a lot better. But the sound quality is actually really quite good. One thing I did notice when here I'll show you what came in the box. There is a handle, and I'm not going to use the handle because it's a stationary position in the kitchen. Anyway, this is what we get in the box. This is the box for the additional $20 Eneby battery. This right here is the handle. Would go here. Comes with a little Allen wrench, just like everything else they sell. And you take these blanking plates off. It also does have, now we'll go to the back here. We have a bass port, tuned bass port, an audio in jack, and also the jack for the power cord it comes with. And these two holes are for an optional wall bracket that you can mount it to. Personally, I think it looks best in this room without it, and so I don't use that. Now, I could hook it up right now to Bluetooth, but unfortunately, the camera I'm using is the phone that it's paired with, so I can't really do that. But there are ways to adjust tone and balance, well, not balance, but you can adjust your bass and treble by holding the button in a certain amount of time. I've not really adjusted it, so I haven't checked on that. But as usual, it comes with instructions, and because I forgot to check this before I did the video, yay ADHD, yeah, I was blaming it on myself. I can't remember exactly how you do it, but suffice to say, it's one click to turn it on, and you see the blue light will blink, and it's already paired with the phone. This is the thing, it pairs really fast. It's got decent range, and actually it's loud enough that this is all the way at the end of a galley kitchen at one end of my house, and I can go all the way to the other end of the house and actually hear this speaker, despite having a lot of walls between it and my ears and everything. It is actually quite loud. It's got good clarity. You know, there's the only real niggle I can see is when you turn it on and it's not really playing anything, you will hear a light amount of background noise from the Bluetooth. And it's not as pronounced as the Bluetooth speaker I built myself using some off-the-shelf components from China, but that one is actually quite a bit louder than this, but it still is present, and you will notice it. But once you play music on it, you won't notice it because it's not really that much in the background. Anyway, do I recommend it? Yes. For the money, it has decent style, it looks good, it fits in, especially with my decor in this laundry room, which I'm hopefully going to carry on into the actual kitchen if I can ever save up enough money to redo it. But it looks decent, it sounds decent, and it's good for the price. It has decent build quality, and generally it's well put together. Most stuff that you get from IKEA in terms of electronics tends to be well engineered, with the exception of this, which is tinny, not well equalized, and honestly they could have spent probably another 10 cents in manufacturing and made it 100% better than it was. And this is their portable speaker. So don't buy this one, buy this one. Anyway, this has been Third World Garage review of the Eneby 20 centimeter square speaker. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll come back to you next time with another exciting review. Thank you.